All right, I will call this meeting of the Civil Service Commission to order. I'd like to invite a roll call. My name is Joshua Wilson, and I'm Civil Service Commissioner.
Brian McManus, Civil Service Commissioner.
Commissioner. Sorry, Brian.
That's okay, I'll go again. Brian McManus, Civil Service Commissioner, present.
Julie Good, Senior Human Resources Specialist and Chief Examiner. And this is Holly Seward, our HR intern.
Welcome.
And Deputy Chief Young might be joining us. If he's able to, he'll be a little bit late. He's on the road.
Okay.
The first action item for today is our approval of the minutes from our June 20th Civil Service Commission special meeting. Has everyone been able to review those minutes? Does anyone have any questions?
No, I reviewed it, Josh, and I make a motion that we accept them as written.
I'll second the motion to accept the minutes as written.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the motion passes to accept the minutes of the June 20th, 2024 Civil Service Commission special meeting. Today we have some new business. Julie, you have a staffing and recruiting update for us?
I do. So this is an update since our meeting last month. So this is activity since June 21st. And the first thing I wanted to point out is in the entry level row, you see we have 24 new candidates and 20 candidates removed. And I just wanted to point that out to kind of demonstrate to you the how quickly we're running through candidates that apply. And what this means is that there's 44 applicants who we processed their application. I reviewed their materials, determined they're on paper, they're eligible to be police officers. And then I've sent those to Deputy Chief Young. And then he's gone through everything to determine whether or not they're candidates that we could move forward in the application process. And so he's looked at 44, 20 he's removed. The other ones he's still maybe doing a little bit more initial background on them, but it's just to kind of give you an idea that in the last 3 weeks, that's the volume of candidates we processed just entry level alone. And it looks like we're on track to at least meet our average for the last couple of years of about 400 police officer applicants we process in a year. So it's kind of
It's a huge number.
You know? Yeah, it is.
Is that
Thank you, Julie.
mostly online applications?
Yeah, everything's online.
Okay, I mean,
As far as the
they
paperwork.
don't do paper application at when you meet people or?
No, they do
Everything's
everything
online.
online. Yep, it's all electronic. They still do the in-person physical ability test with our vendor, which we host here at the mill a couple of times a year. And then they do a written test either in person or proctored virtually. Yeah, everything else is electronic. So we still have candidate Burns in the academy. And I believe candidate Hogan is in the academy too, but I'll have to verify that for you for next meeting.
Do they count for our vacant positions, or are they
We count them as filled.
count them as filled?
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, because we've hired them. They're past the academy. So yeah, we still have the 3 vacancies. I know the chief is looking at his budget requests for the process coming up in August. So I assume he'll be asking for more positions again.
Julie Burns and what was the other name?
Hogan,
Hogan?
yeah, and I'll double check that with Chief Young next time I see him.
And do they both graduate from the academy at the same time?
No, Dante will graduate in August. Austin, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll add that to the next agenda.
And those are included in the I guess the 31 or whatever. Because we have 34 there. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. So we have an entry level candidate, new one came in. We have 1 candidate in progress. And so the entry advanced level are the ones that have already completed the academy or they're in the academy. So in this case, it's a candidate who's completed the academy. So if that works out, they would hit the ground running and could go into FTO right away. And we have one new lateral candidate on the list and one that we've removed. So they've been busy, very busy.
The lateral candidate, where's that person in the process?
They just moved him into background.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And then we also have that vacant community service officer position. They were on the eligibility list that you certified last month, and they just moved into background today. So hopefully we'll be able to fill that vacant position with that candidate as well.
Julie, do you know whether they filled the traffic officer position, or is that something the chief would answer?
They have not filled that assignment yet. Yep. So it's been a busy few weeks since our last meeting. We've got a recruiting event coming up next month at the Reserve Center, Military Reserve Center in Marysville. And then we're looking at attending one or two of the farmers markets again this year. Try to recruit some candidates that way.
You set up a booth there and they, okay.
Yep, set up a booth and have all the employment opportunities, but police, is our the main one at the moment that we need to fill. And then we ask any of the patrol officers or any officers or command staff that are available to stop by and chat with folks.
Nice.
Yeah. I did check on LinkedIn. Thank you guys for letting me know about that. The communication ball got dropped. So we wouldn't have known that if you hadn't mentioned it. So I appreciate it. So that is fixed, and we're working on creating the materials to get the officer advertisements up on all social media and LinkedIn.
Hey,
Excellent.
Julie, one of the tips there too is if you create a QR code for it's like a hyperlink to the process to get started for filling out applications. That's been a real benefit we've noticed out here in the digital world, if you will, right? So
Yeah.
as soon as we went to QR codes, we had like a 20-to-1 success rate on hits versus just either a call number or a link to a website. The QR codes are so easy to just click, boom, and you're in.
Yeah.
So a lot of people really like those. So if they can incorporate something like that into all of our outbound media, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, that's a good
And they're
one.
easy to make.
Yeah, we do. We have QR codes for a separate one for police, and we have one for other city vacancies as well that lead right to the city employment opportunities.
Okay, good.
But that's a good point. We need to make sure that those, I think they may have fallen to the wayside a little bit in the online postings, but we have them on all of the business cards, and we have little recruiting police officer business cards we use too, and those all have QR code. But thanks for that. That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Julie,
And then once you post that, Julie, so there's a lot of law enforcement dedicated channels on LinkedIn, so that are department based or regionally based. So I'll blast it out to that network once you guys get it posted.
That'd be great. It's a huge help.
We can do. Yeah, you bet.
Thank you. So that's it for the staffing updates at the moment, and recruiting updates.
Did you have an eligibility list for us to?
Nope, not this month, not this
Okay.
time. We had the CSO last month, and so I don't anticipate having any eligibility lists for you guys to sign for a while.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing some of the stats with us regarding the national average for officers per capita, and we have a lot of people for our officers to cover as it stands. So greatly
Yeah.
appreciate the work that our officers are doing and the continued need for growth to sustain a growing population in our community. So
Yeah.
Julie,
that-
does Brian and Josh have this?
They do, yeah. I was just gonna say, so for the, since we're recording this, I don't think the folks watching the recording will be able to see the statistics that I put in the chat to the commission members attending virtually, so I'll just go over those. This is information from the deputy chief, who's able to provide that the national average for officers is 2.31 per 1,000 people. So in Washington, we rank 51st in the nation for officer staffing at 1.35 officers per 1,000. So if we were able to get to the national average, our staffing would be 101 officers and 65 at state average. And we're currently authorized 37 officers and have 30 deployable officers he says we have 6 vacancies. He and I usually have a little difference of opinion on numbers, but we have 3 that I'm aware of. And we're at 0.73 officers per 1,000 versus that national average of 2.31.
So Julie, is at the state level is 1.35? Is that what I'm reading?
That's how I read it.
And the national level is 2.31 and we're 0.73.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you count only patrol, which is 24 of our officers, we're at 0.46.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now is the reason we're so far below that, we don't really have the crime statistics to drive it?
You know, I don't have all the background information on that, Ray. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk to the chief
Budget.
about the details. But he did want to make sure to get these statistics to you because he knows you're anxious to have them.
And that's 1/3 of the national average.
Yeah. And I didn't have a chance.
Well, I
do
think-
calculations to see if we fill those vacancies, how much that would, affect these
Change
numbers.
that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't change it a ton, I would think, but, so I know he's preparing budget for next year. We're gonna ask requests for more officers, right?
I
Isn't
believe
that part of
so.
it?
I believe so. Yeah.
I would
I'll get
hope
with the
so with this, with these numbers.
Yeah. And I know one of the reasons that the commission was interested in having those numbers was to be able to speak to the council.
Yeah.
And let them know what those numbers are. And
Well,
Well-
usually what drives budget requirements, police departments are crime statistics. So do we have those statistics to support a request for more officers?
I'm sure the chief has his information. at
Well, it'd be
hand.
nice if
Yeah.
they could share it with
Yeah,
us
and
too.
the deputy chief hoped to be here today,
Yeah.
but something came up and he
Okay.
wasn't able to. But I'll see if he's not able next time, maybe the chief can step in and
Hmm.
share that with you.
He's got he posted the Waspik crime in Washington annual report last week. So I was reading through that and all these statistics came in there. I think there's
Oh.
statistics, maybe not at the micro level, for each department, but there are overall statistics. But I think that keep in mind, and Ray, you probably experienced this more than all of us, but I've lived in town for a long time, but our town has grown exponentially in the last 3-4 years. It just crazy. So I think we just haven't been able to keep up with such an influx. Now the tax base will be there to probably afford more officers is probably the reason we're a little bit low right now.
Yeah. If you
I
look
would
at the
think,
number of people,
it's easily justified.
if you look at the number of people that have moved in here, I don't think our police officer, or our police force has gone up proportionately. I don't think,
It hasn't, and unfortunately, Ray, they rely on census a lot, and that's every couple of years they do a census, so you're missing. If there's rapid growth within a 2-year period on the census, you're missing a lot of that data until you get to the second, 2 years later, and they get the census data. So, a
It
lot of
does
it's driven by
take some,
crime statistics. To your point, Ray. So we'll see what that looks like.
well,
yeah, it does take some
unfortunately,
time to catch up.
Unfortunately, I don't think crime is necessarily gonna go down. So we need to be very proactive and support, the city council, say, I'd rather have more officers here than not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, time for us to start strolling to city council meetings and voicing that in our 2 minutes that they give us, right?
Yeah, sure.
There is one more meeting next Tuesday before they go on their hiatus for August. So if you have a chance, that'll be the time, or when they come back after their break.
Well, does it make more sense when they make the budget proposal, that we attend there showing our support for increased police officer? Cause I don't wanna do it now, then 6 months later, they forget all about us,
You can attend as many meetings as you'd like.
Well, I know, but
You may want to.
I'll go, Ray. I'll throw the shot over the bow for him.
Yeah, and you can always check with the chief and see what his plans are, see if he'd prefer you to be there at one particular time or another, that would be more helpful.
yeah,
Maybe that's something to do too.
I'm still trying to get a fireworks ban. Yeah, that's a different subject.
Yeah. Brian, I'll see
That
if I
may
can
not
find
be the
that.
most popular one.
It seemed pretty calm this year, Ray.
That
Like
WASP
2 in the morning. It was nuts.
I'll see if I can get
Yeah.
that WASPIC report and get that off to Josh and Ray as well, so they can see those statistics.
I can email
Thank
you
you.
a copy of it if you want electronic copy.
Okay, if you'd like to send it, that's fine.
Yeah, I pulled it down, so I'll send it to you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And then we had an update, also from Deputy Chief Young about the Regional Academy. As you know, they were looking at locations in Snohomish and Skagit County, and they have leased a site in Arlington, kind of over by the cemetery.
Oh, cool.
They're finishing that up now. There's no definite timeline, but they think it'll be open, soon. And it should reduce the wait time from the academy. For the current wait time is 4 to 6 months. And they're hoping, that'll drop the wait time down to about 2 months. So make a significant
Nice.
improvement in that. delay.
Julie, it says here, has had delays due to circumstances beyond our control.
Mhm.
Can we read anything even in that, or that's,
No, I wouldn't. I think it's, who knows? I mean, they're looking, they're leasing properties, finding properties. Maybe something fell through. I don't.
well, is it a
Yeah.
funding? Do we know if it's a funding issue?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know,
okay.
yeah. Yep. And then the third
Could
thing,
be a million things.
yeah, having it local is always a good, that's handy too. A lot of our applicants are, our new officers are in the area, or live in the area,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I think it goes back to the speed of, somebody's looking for a role and looking for a job and they want to feed their family. You can't tell them, hey, you're good to go. We'll see you in 8 months, to get you started. It just doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
for
the
candidate
next thing-
retention.
if you try to find a positive spin to the delay in going to the academy, it's that it gives our department more of a chance to get the candidates ready for the academy,
Right.
so that they, kind of have
Sounds
a head
possible.
start on the academics and physical fitness and things, so that's nice.
That's good. Yeah.
But we do want them on the street as soon as we can, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
Everything we can get. And then the last thing I wanted to just mention to you, I don't know if you have heard about this, but there's been a recent change to the law that now allows DACA recipients, so the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, they're now eligible to become police officers.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's brand new. So that's, we're working on that. The change we've made to this point is just adding on our application where they check a box if they're a US citizen or otherwise eligible to be police officer. Now, DACA is on there as well. And then there'll be some other changes that, I know the police department is looking at with other, chiefs and sheriffs. And they'll have an update on that as they work through the new laws, but just wanted to put that on your radar. So, it's something we're aware of and we're implementing.
Good.
Do you think that, has that changed any of our applications since that change as far as you've seen, or no? It seems relatively new, but
It is, yeah, it was effective, I believe it was June 19th, June 17th. It's been 30 days or so. And it's not something I would see, but, because it would be in the background process that's conducted by either our vendor or our officers. But maybe the DC could speak to that later in the process and let you know.
probably too new. So
Yeah,
great.
So if this passes, they'll take that off of the application?
no, it did pass.
Oh, it did
We
pass?
just added it, yeah.
Oh, I
They
see.
were ineligible because they weren't US citizens or eligible to be police
I see,
officers, but now they
okay.
are. So, which also opens up the pool of applicants. A greater number of people can apply. So that's,
Yeah.
More diversity.
yeah.
That could be a great opportunity for the future. So we look forward to hearing more about how that affects things down the line.
Great. The last thing I have on there, it's not on the agenda because it just came up, is the Civil Service Conference. The save the date came out yesterday. It's October 1st and 2nd from 9 to 4 each day. It's virtually, it's online. And I'll forward that to you, but I just wanted to let you know about it ahead of time so you didn't think it was junk mail. But there's a portion of it that's training for civil service commissioners that talks about the origins of civil service and best practices and that kind of a thing. So I'll forward that to you if you have a chance to attend all or
Okay.
part of it. You're welcome to. You just sign up directly through the link, or I can help you with that.
Are you?
Is it being recorded this year?
It's not typically recorded, but I will ask. I sent some questions into them yesterday, and that's I'll check with them on that.
Okay. See what I can do. Thank you. That's good to know. Any other questions, concerns, comments? This moment.
I know. Happy to hear that LinkedIn's gonna be up and running though. I think that's gonna be powerful for you, honestly.
Yeah, and thanks again for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. Well, if there is no other comments, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good seeing
Thanks,
you,
everybody.
gentlemen.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
Nice to
meeting
meet
you.
too,
Thank you.
Polly. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new job. That's cool.
I know, crazy.
Yeah.